Hello, Cityside. My name is Rob Wozniak. I'm one of your licensed spiritual practitioners. I have a reading for you this morning. It's from a book you probably heard of by now. It's by The Magic Path of Intuition by Florence Scovel Shinn. And this is from chapter 9. Magic and miracle come from the same root word. It is a good thing to go see a magician once in a while, to get the realization of things coming suddenly from apparently nowhere. Of course, with the magician, it's a trick. The universal power, the great magician, changes a curse into a blessing, despair into joy, lack into plenty, sickness into health. There is no limit to the good that God has prepared for us. Only doubt or unbelief shuts off the power within each of us. Faith turns the power on again.
Hello, I'm Connie Hodak, one of your spiritual practitioners. Do you believe in magic? Would you like to see me draw a rabbit out of the hat? Nothing up my sleeves. Wrong hat. Nothing is in the hat unless the magician puts it in there, right? Did you believe for just a second there was a rabbit in there? We're hoping. Yeah. Well, what would have given it away is our little canine friend would have been sniffing on it. So, okay. This is a scenario that I kind of stole from a show called Rocky and Bullwinkle. Now, many of you, if you're 2 decades younger than I am, you probably don't know that show. But Bullwinkle, in his eternal optimism, he would always believe there was going to be a rabbit come out of that hat. And he would reach in and pull it out, and it'd be a bear. Or it'd be a roaring lion. But he never stopped all through that show. Every time, hey, Rocky, you want to watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat? And it just didn't happen. Well, Florence Scovel Shinn shares, as Rob said, music and miracles come from the same root meaning. And being the geek that I am, I went to a deep dive of linguistics, and I got lost in the spider web of words. But yeah, they do. But what I did find, and that I really liked, so I wrote it down, magic and miracles are something out of the ordinary, causes wonder and astonishment. They are amazing or inexplicable by normal standards. Would you agree? Okay, the great magician does wonderful and amazing things all the time. Things change, things happen, things come into being. In the show, a little flower drum song. Does anyone here know that song? Yeah. There is a song in that show. It's called 100 Million Miracles. And it says, 100 million miracles are happening every day. I'm not a singer, obviously. But there are. I would say there's billions of miracles happening every day. How many people we have on the planet? Everyone has a miracle each and every day. Are you noticing it? Are you consciously noticing the miracle that is happening to you today? Look for it. Now, she also gives us a formula. I love her. She's simplistic, straightforward. She gives us a formula to make things happen in your life. She says, speak your mind. Okay, follow your intuition, your gut feeling. Follow your hunches. That's her word, I like it. But it is, follow your intuition. Follow what is speaking to you. And then lastly, she says, dig your ditches. That's her phrase from the game of life. But that means prepare the way. Do something to help it come into fruition. You have something to do before it's going to happen. You have work to do before it's going to happen. So what is it you have to do? Let go. Okay? Let go and let God. Let the universe do its thing. Let it and do its magic. The miracles will come. So all you have to do after you do all of that is just live your life. Live your most wonderful now life. Be present. Be present. You know the old proverb, and she brings it up in the book, the watch pot never boils. I like how one of her students explains, we should have whistling teapot, which does not have to be watched. When it boils, it whistles for you. I love that. So, do your asking. Do your doing. You're demonstrating. Then let it be. And it will whistle for you. It will happen for you when it is ready and when you are ready for it. Trust, faith, the divine timing. Now, I can't tell you how many times I don't. I want it faster. I want it now. I want the way I want it. And I do it way too often. But I know that it's not that way. I practice. I go into practice. That's why they call us practitioners. We don't get it all. We have to keep practicing. We decided we are going to keep practicing, make it happen. So it always boils down to I didn't take some action that I should have or could have or wanted to. Or, I don't know, my subconscious was thinking of something else, or I had an emotion that was just too angry, or I was too scared. And what blocks it? Fear, doubt, self-pity, suspicions. That all blocks it. It all blocks it from happening. So when you catch yourself doing that, go back and take a breath. And speak your word. Follow your intuition. And prepare, dig your ditches. Okay, there is only love and faith that is going to bear fruit for you. That's all there is. Love. But the great magician, the universal power, always knows what's your highest good. Always and ever. So let it in. And she gives us a beautiful affirmation, and say it after me after I've said it once. There is nothing too good for me. Now say it with me. There is nothing too good for me. Do it again. There is nothing too good for me. And the divine third time, there is nothing too good for me. So remember, speak your word, ask clearly what you desire, need, or want. Follow your hunches. Follow that intuition and your gut feeling. And dig your ditches. Prepare the way. Do your work. Do your part. Then live your life to receive. It's going to come. It will come. So, neutralize the fear, dispel the disbelief, and believe in magic.
It's, oops, it's actually better than a rabbit. So I just wanted to acknowledge that Connie really put this whole program together. And I kind of helped out here and there, but this is really her creation, and she did just a beautiful job. So I really want to celebrate her, and gave a beautiful talk. Thank you, Connie, so much. So I thought what we'd do is a little, some spiritual practice together. I know it's Practitioner Sunday. It's right there in the name. I mean, spoiler alert. So let's do this together. Let's just take a breath and close our eyes and just be 15 seconds. We're just going to do this really short. And what I want you to do is just be in this experience of letting go of this human experience and being in this field of pure potentiality, that you can go anywhere, be any age, look any way, have anything. And in this field of knowingness, I just invite you to give it a name. It can be anything. Some people call it source. Some people call it universe. Some people call it the Great Spirit. You can call it Penelope. I don't care. Whatever your name is for it, and you can open your eyes when you're ready. For me, I'm going to call it truth with a capital T, because I like that. That works for me, right? And so from this space of truth, we already know that we're unlimited. We already know that this is the truth of our beingness. But when we're in this experience of being in this space of bumping into the music stand, in this space of human experience, we can run into roadblocks, right? We can run into that belief that something about ourselves is keeping our good from us. Oh, I would have that if only I weren't this age, or I weren't this, or this thing was different about me. Come into that understanding that the things that we think are the things that are blocking us from our good are actually the keys to our good. And our friend Florence shares this in her book. She has a beautiful parable story about someone who was had a very limiting experience, and out of that limitation actually came flourishing their good. And so we know that these limiting experiences are really the good that is ours in manifestation. And so we can understand that our good is there waiting for us. And I've been doing these webinars as part of the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee at CSL. So I belong to that committee, and we do these series of webinars. And and in these webinars, we sort of facilitate a conversation and ask people to bring the wisdom in the room. And some beautiful soul brought this beautiful wisdom, and he said that, when we talk about the law of attraction, we feel like it's something that we're pulling towards us. Right? It's something that we're attracting to us. But he said that's actually not true. The law of attraction is us moving to our good, that it is a moving toward, not a pulling to. And that good has already been created for us. And so as we release this idea that this is the thing that blocks me, and embrace the idea that this is the thing that leads me to my good, we are actually pulled to our good, and we see it unfolding in the right and perfect way. I want to just add that, this good is so bountiful and so beautiful, and one of the ways that we anchor ourselves in it is with our consciousness, right? So Connie talked about this in her talk. We have to calibrate our thoughts to be in alignment with the good that we're seeking. We have to vibrate, as Abraham Hicks would say, we have to be a vibrational match for the good that we're seeking. And so we have a lot of tools we use. We use prayer, we use meditation. We can also use affirmations. So affirmations are just a wonderful way of holding that truth, that truthful thought in the forefront of our minds. And I like this, when I think about this, I think about how it's different from wishing, right? I wish that this were true. A wish comes from a place of scarcity thinking. A wish comes from a place of fear. this isn't, but I wish it were. And so the underlying consciousness is always seems to be, to me, to be about lack or limitation. Whereas an affirmation is affirming the knowing that I know. I know what I know what I know. I know my good is mine, and I affirm it. And so we use affirmations to keep calibrating our thinking along those lines. And so I'm going to invite our practitioners to come up. I know. I invite our practitioners to come up to hold prayer. And what we're going to do is invite you to come up and receive prayer. We've done this before here in the community. And I wanted to just say that as you come up, receive prayer. It can be something specific. It can be just, hey, I just want a prayer of gratitude today. Just something really short. We're going to do 1-minute miracles, right? I'm looking at Connie to make sure. And after you finish your prayer, I invite you to reach into the magic hat and pull out your affirmation, pull out your good, as if from your consciousness, just something affirming your positive energy for the day. So there's a bunch of them in here. Take one. You could probably take two if you really wanted to. So I think with that, we're just going to invite people to come up for prayer, right, Connie? Okay. So thanks, Greg. Good morning. So even if you are not, it's not your day for prayer, I do invite you to come up and take a card. Or two. Take a card. Nora. I didn't take one either. I got to take one too. So these are cards, these affirmations are affirmations from the book that Connie pulled out for us. I did edit them a little bit because some of them were a little long, but they are from the same continuum of consciousness. So I just say a blessing upon our time together and say thank you. I turn it back over to our host.
That was really beautiful. And I just want to thank all the practitioners, not just for creating a beautiful service, but for what they do all the time, seen and unseen. So, and for those of you joining us online, I did type this in the YouTube. You can request